So you have done a conflict transformation course with me, either online or in person. And I thought I would share some things that you can just check that you are doing, or make time to actually practice these to embed the learning into your life. So here are 5 things you can do. So remember what we talked about building a container. There's a lot of heat in conflict. You need a container to be able to move through it. So, for example, you can use requests to create agreements or a container for your conversations. So something like, do you have 10 minutes to talk through what happened in the meeting to understand everyone's needs? Make a request, link it to a need, in this case, understanding, and the person might not be up for this. So you can ask them what might work for them. But just keep reminding, what is the container that we need for this? What support are we going to need? So practice noticing your nervous system responses and identifying needs. So here is a practice of identifying needs, and I'll send a link to these slides so you can go and have a look. It's like identify the issue, go through your list of needs, track your emotional state as you do this. What needs stand out for you in relation to the issue? What generated the most emotional response? And make a note of this, track this, and celebrate yourself for doing this. You can spend 5 minutes doing this or 10 minutes doing this. So make sure you are embedding the practice of identifying needs. And then find ways to input your feelings and needs into conversation about conflicts in a natural way. So this might be listening to someone else's feelings and needs. So it could be, gosh, it really sounds like you're needing much more support than you're getting. Or you sound really petrified by what's about to happen. Or, yeah, I think I'm picking up that there's quite a lot of anxiety about this. So when you're having conversations with people about conflicts in their lives, see if you can input in a very natural way feelings and needs and not get caught up in the story of it, because that's what people tend to do. I do it when I'm in conflict. I'm in the story. The story does need to be heard, and I need to ground myself in feelings and needs. So see if you can practice this in your everyday conversations about conflict. You can also come to the listening hour every Sunday, 12 to 1 p.m. This is really good, precise practice on reflecting back feelings and needs. There's also an in-person once a month or once a month on a Saturday, 12 to 2 in Kennington, South London. Make sure you practice humanizing the other. So this is a transforming enemy images practice. You start off with the load or the judgment, the thing that is weighing you down. That's going to be the story. It's going to be your judgments. And then just define what is the action, what was actually said. Notice what happens to you when you distinguish between the load and the action. And then pile on a load of self-empathy for yourself. Really connect to your feelings, really connect to your needs, spend time here. Then see if you can step into empathy for the other person. What were they feeling and needing when this happened or in this whole situation? And then reflect on how you feel now. See if there is a request. In the slides, there is a link to more description of this process. Make sure you do this practice. Work with intention and impact, and particularly what's getting in the way. So you can map this out. You can do this by yourself, or you could get someone to witness you doing this. Map the intentions you hear, map the impacts that you see, and map the systemic factors that are getting in the way of intention being heard and impact being received. So it could be historical situation, historical relationship between two people. It could be systemic factors relating to people's class, race, or gender, or ability. It could be something to do with social media. It could be something that's going on in the news at the moment, which is really disturbing the field. You can get really creative with mapping what's getting in the way. And what this does is increases compassion. Because if we get to a place of, Oh, yeah, it really makes sense that this is blown up in this way. If we can get to a sense of, yeah, this makes sense, then we're increasing compassion. So you can do this by yourself. You can do this with being witnessed. If you are doing it as a group or with a partner, speaker, be willing to be interrupted and informed by listener suggestions of intention, impact, and what's getting in the way. And listeners be sensitive to the speaker's need for space. So find a way of balancing that. And then finally, prepare yourself and people you are in connection with for conversations, for difficult conversations. Make sure you take time to prepare. So have a conversation to get to meaning and uncover what you or they want to say. So this, it's very helpful to do with support. So, and you could use the slide here to help you structure. So if you are a listening partner, hold space, allow time, reflect back what you're hearing, make feelings and needs guesses for the person or the other people. Try not to fix or coach or educate. You could ask if they're willing to map intention and impact and what's getting in the way. If you want to add something, if you want to add your perspective, ask if they're ready to hear it. They might not be. They might just needing to be in offload space. So that's fine. And check what the person wants to say to the other person. And if you kind of get a gut sense that that's not going to go down well, unpack the needs. It needs more unpacking. If your gut sense is that's just going to escalate things because there's a lot of judgment in there, take some time with that. And listeners, really listen out for signposts for meaning. Listen out for intense emotion. Listen out for judgment. When there are judgments, go gently to needs. If someone uses a metaphor, stay with them. Work with that metaphor. Another signpost is when someone is saying always, never, those exaggerations. Like there's something very painful here. Spend some time with that. Let me know if this is helpful. Let me know if you get to practice. And I look forward to hearing how it all goes.